We are beginning tonight with breaking news out of Buffalo, New York. 10 people are dead, 3 others hurt after a mass shooting at a grocery store. It happened just a few hours ago, and an 18-year-old suspect is in custody. A short time ago, authorities said he drove several hours from another town dressed in tactical gear and opened fire on employees and shoppers in a predominantly black neighborhood. The suspect is white.
The FBI says it's investigating this as an act of, quote, racially motivated violent extremism. They're now looking into a manifesto believed to be written by the suspect, as well as a video of the attack that he reportedly live streamed. We've just learned that the suspect will be arraigned tonight on murder charges. We will bring you more information on this story as soon as it becomes available.
It has been a day of action across the country as supporters of abortion rights took to the streets.
Yeah, this was the scene today in New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Thousands of women and men showed their opposition to the leaked Supreme Court opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade. Now, if that happens, about half the states are expected to move quickly to ban abortion outright.
Now, while California is not one of those states, marchers still gathered in the heart of downtown. You can see the video here. They did this to show their solidarity. CBS 8's Ariana Cohen was there and has the story.
I followed along as hundreds of people marched to support the right for women to choose.
Abortion is worth fighting for!
Hundreds of Bands Off Our Bodies abortion rights supporters are holding demonstrations all over the country, including right here in downtown San Diego. A coalition of progressive and reproductive rights groups, including local Planned Parenthood chapters and Women's March San Diego, walked a little over 1 mile protesting in response to a leaked draft opinion by the Supreme Court that showed the High Court is poised to overturn Roe v. Wade, a 1973 ruling affirming abortion access as a constitutional right.
In the 1960s, I had friends who were getting abortions with clothes hangers. You couldn't find an abortion, and same issues, the rape and the teen pregnancies were happening then. Didn't happen to me, but my friends did, and we were fighting for this then. This is ridiculous that we have to keep going in this circle.
Every human being should be able to dictate their own autonomy.
Counter-protesters were also out today. At one point, things got heated between pro-life supporters and pro-choice advocates.
Abortion rights should be human rights, and we believe that, the Democrats could have done a lot more to help protect this very crucial health care.
By this summer, 26 states could move to ban abortion. According to Planned Parenthood, this would affect 36 million women.
This is not the America that our founding fathers would have wanted. This is not what they fought and they died for. This is not the country I want her to inherit. This is the land of the free, and half of our population is about to lose our freedom.
While the march ended at the Hall of Justice, people here say the fight is far from over.
Do not stop the fight. We are going to keep fighting.
Ariana Cohen, CBS 8.
Well, forget about that May gray. It's feeling more like the July fry today in San Diego.
Yes, it is. Meteorologist Sean Stiles is here with a first look at that microclimate forecast. I cannot believe how hot it is already.
Well, we were talking about this last week and how we're going to have these huge swings in temperatures. We started off the work week relatively cold, windy, and cloudy, and then by Wednesday we started to see high pressure build in, and that has turned into a very warm day. Now, here in San Diego, up to 81 degrees at San Diego International Airport. The average for this time of year, 69 degrees, so definitely a lot warmer than it should be. And as far as temperatures right now, we're looking at places like El Cajon at 90 degrees, Alpine 87, 88 in Jamul, 89 in Escondido, and up in the Ramona area. Once you get out towards the coastline, you don't see much relief. We're still in the upper 70s to low 80s. That's because high pressure aloft is giving us that offshore flow. And Borrego at 101. Now, how much warmer are we today than yesterday? Now, yesterday was a toasty one. However, This is the warmest day of this little heat wave that we've got going on. So everyone a little bit warmer, not dramatically so, but when we're talking about yesterday being a good 5 to 10 degrees above average, and then you add another 9 degrees above average in downtown San Diego, that's where you get up to 81 degrees. But tomorrow we'll be cooling off and we'll go with a 72 downtown, and then much cooler weather starts to come in, comparatively speaking, to what we're seeing right now. We'll dip into the mid-60s by Tuesday, and for you folks in the inland areas, it'll take a little bit longer. However, the deserts are going to stay very warm as we get into the first part of the work week.
All right, Shawn, thanks. And as you can imagine, firefighters fear these excessive temperatures coupled with today's wind, and it's all making the brush out here very dry, especially near homes, and that is a concern about wildfires.
Yeah, homeowners should always be mindful of clearing enough defensible space in their yards. But as CBS 8's Heather Hope shows us, today is not the day for intense yard work.
Yes, Steve and Kirsten, when the heat is on well over 90 degrees in the East County, you hardly see anyone outdoors doing yard work. And CAL FIRE firefighters say that's exactly how they like to keep it, because when you combine excessive temperatures with the wind, that could quickly spark a large brush fire.
I'm just taking all the weeds out, and they grow faster than the flowers.
Tina Belvedere says she normally clears the weeds from her garden in the morning due to the heat, but stepped outside her Pecan Park mobile home in El Cajon to walk her two dogs, Callie and Maggie.
I can't work a long time in the heat. I have MS, so heat triggers my exacerbations.
Landscapers nearby got their weed whacking work done in the dry canyon near her home that prompted Tina's concern.
If somebody sparks and we have the wind, it's just going to carry.
That's part of the urgent message CAL FIRE crews hope catch on with residents during a heat wave.
On hot days like this, there's always a little bit heightened chance to starting a fire, whether it's a roadside start from you using mechanical equipment in your yard or anything like that.
CAL FIRE captain and PIO Neil Chapinski says it was the wind that quickly spread a 5-acre fire in Granite Hills Friday afternoon that got close to homes.
Started in near somebody's yard and ended up racing to the top of the hill.
CAL FIRE crews are still in Orange County mopping up the coastal fire in Laguna Niguel that claimed 20 homes late Wednesday.
Watching these $1 million homes, it didn't take much for them to go up. It's dry, it's hot.
Tina says her neighbors are typically good about clearing defensible space behind their home.
But still, if we don't keep our back cleaned up and maintain some type of fire, then the house is gone.
Now it's probably not, even though it is a Saturday, the time with the hot weather to try and do your clearance, do your defensible space. Those type of things should be done when it's a little bit cooler out earlier in the day, just so there's less of a chance of starting a fire.
Heather Hope, CBS 8.
And remember, you can get weather alerts, the forecast, and weather stories sent directly to your phone. Just text the word HEAT to 858-571-8888 to get the latest information.
A 31-year-old mother is dead. Her 12-year-old son in the hospital tonight. They were shot early this morning in Lincoln Park. The woman's husband also in the hospital after he was beaten in the face. Police say around 2:15 this morning, the family of three were in the carport behind their apartment complex on Willie James Jones Avenue, just south of Imperial Avenue. And that's when an argument broke out between them and a group of young men.
They are neighbors with the Asian male, female, and their 12-year-old. They're one family unit. Some type of dispute occurred between these two in this carport in the early morning hours. At this time, we have not determined the exact cause of that, but we're working through it.
They were shot several times and died at the scene. The boy was shot once in the leg. He is expected to survive. Meantime, police found one of the neighbors, 22-year-old Alex Galvan, bleeding from a gunshot wound to his wrist as well as a gun nearby. He has been arrested on suspicion of murder. One other man from that group was detained. A third person still at large. You're asked to call Crime Stoppers if you have any information. A North County man has pleaded guilty to assaulting multiple police officers during the January 6th Capitol insurrection. On Friday, 40-year-old James McGrew, a former Marine from Carlsbad, admitted to joining the mob that overtook the Capitol that day, violently attacking the officers who were there trying to protect members of Congress. He was later identified in cell phone footage by a large King James tattoo that's located on his stomach. Sentencing has been set for August. He faces up to 8 years in prison.
Tonight, a woman is in the hospital after crashing her car into one of the Coronado Bridge toll booth dividers early this morning. It happened just before 5 a.m. After crossing over the bridge, the car hit one of the concrete dividers, flipping it onto its roof. A passenger in the car was not hurt. It's unknown if drugs or alcohol were a factor. And this was the scene early this morning on H Street in Chula Vista. An SUV veered off the road and hit that fire hydrant, causing water to shoot into the air. Chula Vista firefighters, you see them there, arrived within minutes and shut off the water. The driver, you see there again, was taken to the hospital. No word yet on their injuries or how they're doing right now. And commencement weekend is in full swing at San Diego State University. I hear you clapping.
Congratulations to the more than 11,000 students eligible to graduate from San Diego State in 7 separate ceremonies taking place at Viejas Arena all weekend. They'll continue through Sunday. Many of those donning their cap and gown to walk across the stage at the university's first full indoor graduation ceremony since before the pandemic. The colleges of Business, Health and Human Services, and Engineering graduated today. The weekend wraps up with the Colleges of Education and Professional Studies and Fine Arts tomorrow. Awesome.
All right, job well done to you,
yes.
graduates.